think like many entrepreneurs, I spent the first half of my life sacrificing any kind of thoughts on health to build wealth, to build some security, because you think, let's build a safe nest for my family to be safe and secure in. And then halfway through your career, you're going, hang on a minute, now I'm going to sacrifice my wealth to try and be healthy in the other half of my life. And actually the balance is really to try and blend the two. But I think that's hard to do for entrepreneurs, because it's very hard to set the temperature to the right heat setting. It's like being in a shower where you got one of those knobs that you can't quite get right.
Yeah.
And I think it's very difficult to set that temperature, because events happen, don't they? Business gets hard, or there's a takeover, or somebody leaves, and you have no option but to act. And that can cause anxiety when you weren't necessarily hoping for it that particular week.
If you look back on sort of where you came from to where you are, in terms of not only, it's very easy, I think, sometimes to look back and go, the story arc, if you like. But if you kind of go back to a time where life was not as it was now, you don't have the same lens, you don't have the same experiences. Why do you think it is that first part of, I must make more money at all costs? Like, what is the more? What are you chasing at that point? What is the wealth? Is it purely security? Is it a ring fence? Or is it also a sort of a self-drive to keep?
I think with me, it's security. And if you look back, and I had a really happy childhood and a really happy upbringing, but it started from being adopted at 6 weeks old. And I had fabulous parents, but I think if you put me on the psychiatrist chair and hypnotize me, there is a little bit of insecurity that's come from there.
Right.
And I think I've tried to build a nest and some safety around that. And actually what I have learned about creating some kind of wealth, and I'm not the wealthiest guy in the world, not the wealthiest guy in this building probably, but it does take away some of the worry and some of the anxiety. And anxiety is a great killer, isn't it? Stress is a terrible killer, and wealth does take away some of that, because you don't have to worry about whether you've got a job or not, or whether you can afford to pay your rent or your mortgage, and it takes away that aspect of your life. So I think it helps in that way. So I can't speak for everybody else, but I think certainly insecurity was one of the drivers for me.
And from your perspective, because everybody's different and everyone sort of has their ideas of it, and I know it sounds really, really rudimentary, but I think it's really important for people to get this, because money, wealth, if we strip wealth away, just have money itself as a word, it's a loaded word. Some people have it as a negative, some people have it as a positive, and some people are indifferent in between.